The Opie and Anthony channel on Sirius XM.
Welcome, and thank you for calling Porn Chat, connecting you with the adult industry's greatest legends. For English, press 1. Para Español, chinga tu madre, bendejo. Please enter the first 3 digits of your desired starlet's name. Now, connecting you with Jenna Jameson.
Yeah, Jenna, you there?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And Bobo Man's getting hard hearing the sound of your voice, Jenna.
Sexy.
I'm just thinking about you. Just thinking about pounding you right. It's pounding you. Pounding you in the ass.
Yeah, it's very titillating.
What are you looking for, Jenna, huh?
Nowadays, I'm so single and so in need of a man.
Well, if you're looking for a man, then you're talking to the right person.
I just like to have sex.
Oh, well, you want sex? You'll get it, baby. I got my hand on the boat boner. It's there just waiting for you.
It should be huge.
Oh, it is. 3.5 inches there just waiting for you.
Oh, yummy.
You want me to make you happy, Jenna? You happy?
I'm bummed. I'm super bummed.
Ooh, I like that. What has you down?
I have, bad ex.
Tell me more.
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of things going on, but, my main priority are my kids.
What else is wrong?
I just want to, make sure that I am with my kids.
Oh, God, I want to be inside you, Jenna.
That's the thing, is I feel like, I'll get on Twitter because I'll get mad and I'll be like, rah, and go crazy on Twitter, and people will think I'm nuts. But in reality, it's really just me trying to tell people what is really happening.
Oh, man, here comes the pre.
And I haven't seen my kids for a very, very long time. I'm able to see them only 2 days a week, and they charge me $400 an hour. Like,
that was good. Thanks, Jenna. Come here, Mr. Maloonigan. Daddy has something that needs cleaning.
Sirius XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
Happy birthday, little Richard. Happy birthday.
I am?
The big 8-0.
Wow. 80?
80 for little Richard. I wonder if he still lives at the Hyatt on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, that's right.
He had like the top floor or something. Always found that weird. Celebrities that live at hotels.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys. Back in the day,
That is a bit
when we
odd.
did a lot of LA trips, we'd see him at the Sunset Hyatt. They would always put us up in that hotel.
Yeah.
We just wander around.
Looking
Get
plastic.
He'd come downstairs and get a croissant, then go back upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was creepy to look
He
at
looked a little plasticky.
and a bit femmy.
Well, yeah, he's always been a little femmy. Femmy.
I accept the gay. The femmy thing is still a little rough for me.
yeah.
I mean, can we be honest with each other?
I'm not.
The gay is all right, but I mean the Femi part, I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, there's nothing I'm going to do that's going to hold the gay back. But I will.
I'm not going to get in the way of the Femi. Trust me. I'm just telling you my personal feelings on the thing. It still makes me uncomfortable.
The Fems don't realize.
Can you call them the Femis?
The Femis. The Femis don't realize. Well, I'm not here to stand in your way.
Right.
You know, many people.
And we're not talking about you, Fez. Relax. You're not a Femi.
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christ. He's in the back of everyone's head all the time.
We should give awards to the gayest people we know.
The Femis.
And call them the Femis.
Let's do the Femis.
The Femi Awards.
Johnny Weir is a Femi.
Oh, my God.
He gets a Lifetime Achievement Award as a Femi.
I think he's in the paper today.
Femi of the Millennium, maybe.
He's that ice skater. He's a bit Femi.
Johnny, it's just your birthday.
I think that's why I'm thinking about the Femi today, because I saw that. What paper was it? Where's the other dopey paper? He's got an issue or something, or I don't know, or he got flagged for being too Femi in an event or something.
Wow.
Well,
paper.
I think the story is that the gay activists are angered by his decision not to boycott Russia.
Oh, right.
So he called them idiots for being mad at him, and now he's
why does he have to boycott Russia?
Because Russia doesn't like the gays.
They give the gays a rough time. So a lot of that. But isn't Elton John playing there?
I'm not sure.
He's playing.
Yeah.
They don't like the gays at all.
They give the gays a tough time over there.
But Johnny Weir is like, I got to figure skate.
And I got to make my money where I can, right?
Like, what am I going to do? They put these fucking things on every 4 years.
Right. What do you want me to do?
Can't be waiting. I'll sit out for 4 years.
Wait, they're talking about the Olympics?
Yeah.
The Olympics are in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. In 2014, the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Isn't that right around the corner?
Is it 2014?
No, Russia's far.
But
so what? A lot of gay athletes are boycotting this Olympics?
Yeah, the activists would like them to.
Oh, you know what? Go fuck yourself. Johnny Weir only. All right, now I'm in on the story. Yeah, you only get every 4 years to do an Olympics. Of course he's going to go there.
Plus, if anything, he'll just be like in Russia, and all the Russians will be pissed, and he'll be like, "Fuck you! I'm the gayest dude ever."
Yeah.
Right. Oh, he'll shove it right in their face.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we did that once before, the whole boycotting the Olympics. And
you feel bad for the athletes.
Yeah, the athletes, you know.
Oh, they got Sarah Palin talking about Martin Bashir.
Oh, let's hear doing whatever that they can. Despite
she's got shit in her mouth.
The fact that in this world you are going to be hurt and attacks will come your way. I just hope that an attack like that doesn't make people hesitate.
Well, you know, one of the things about his attack is it was scripted. It was premeditated. We've all said things on TV when we're ad-libbing. Well, not me, but go ahead. It didn't come out exactly right. But this was, you know...
Who cares if it was scripted?
Had a chance to review it, and they obviously, or apparently, all agreed. And rather than fire him, they let him resign.
No, they fired him.
Well, it was
you stupid fuck. You know how that works.
See,
you SNL character.
In the media did come out and say, look, our standards have got to be higher than this. Those with that platform, with a microphone, a camera in their face, they have to have some more responsibility taken.
Governor, think about this. If Governor Palin from 6 years ago was attacked like this, would you have reacted differently? How have you changed, being that this was not new?
I would have opened my mouth right up and taken a duty.
It's a sad state of affairs, too, to have to admit that I am used to it.
Of course, everybody's got the right to say whatever the fuck they want.
But let's have an honest conversation about this. I personally don't like Martin Bashir. I don't like his TV show. I've seen it many times. But it's the same shit that we try to, you gotta protect these guys. And he was fired by MSNBC.
Of course he was.
That's how they do it nowadays, so they don't look like the assholes.
Right.
So they sit you down in an office, and they go, look, we're going to fire you, but you could resign and save a little face here.
Again, there's context and where you're saying it. He absolutely should have been fired. I'm from that school of thought.
Why?
And not because
he said something shitty?
No, I love what he said. Who gives a shit what he said? But as far as a news organization,
but we know they're not news organizations anymore.
Look where we work. We can say a lot of shit. If we said the same stuff in another environment, we'd be fired.
But we don't know if we could. There's going to be a day where we're going to say something that we assume that we could be saying, and we're going to get fucked.
If we're at a point where we're supposed to be held to journalistic standards, then we should be fired.
He should have understood the environment. I get your point,
right.
But But
Pretty
I
much
don't
all
think
I'm
we
saying.
should be here saying that he should have been fired ever.
But wait, is that
because they're going after every fucking guy now?
Is it journalistic standards with that? Because
Yes.
But no,
What he was saying. Could you imagine Cronkite talking about that?
Well, I addressed that on Twitter last night.
You did.
And what Cronkite was never fired for.
What did he say?
Well, you might want to address my Twitter. I did say it.
Well, but we're way past the Cronkite days. We all know that.
But but when these guys are doing this, they're all so biased on Fox and MSNBC and all of them. Are they considered journalists like an ABC news anchor when they're all pretty much editorializing?
I know they're editorializing, but they're editorializing under the flag of NBC News. And they get, first of all, they get away with shit that's amazing that NBC doesn't crack down and go, are we supposed to have any journalistic and integrity left with our news organization when this shit's going on? But then when it reaches a point where he's talking about that under the realm of NBC News, the umbrella of fucking Tom Brokaw and everything, you gotta fire.
But they don't have integrity. As soon as they hired, as they hired Alec Baldwin to do a fucking news show, they don't have integrity.
I know they don't.
It's
But
bullshit, fake integrity.
Exactly. It's all phony.
But aren't they more like news magazine shows now? Like the primetime shows aren't really like news.
I don't look at any of those channels as news programs.
Because like Red Eye's
anymore.
not a news show, but it's technically under the Fox News banner.
I'm just saying that it's the news integrity. If you go to NBC News, which runs MSNBC, they're still under this fucking flag of NBC News. If you go to the head of NBC News and say, so, do you guys think you have journalistic integrity? He will fucking say, yes, of course we do, and cite all kinds of awards and everything else. So they have to fire this guy. Even though it's fake, it doesn't mean shit. The next guy's going to say something twice as bad or something. But they have to fire these people because they have to uphold their standards.
What if somebody says something on Red Eye that's technically Fox News, and you got Fox News correspondents?
I've been on Red Eye plenty of times, and I've had Greg say, we can't say that, we can't go there. I've had my notes.
But one of these times, you're going to get burned, and it's not going to be up to Greg, and it's going to be Fox. And
that's true. Yeah.
And it shouldn't be happening.
It's
I'm sorry.
knee-jerk stuff.
Well,
sometimes.
How come, this was my point, I was on Twitter kind of just bullshitting yesterday, but how come Walter Cronkite was never fired when he said that he wanted to fill Betty Ford's cunt with yams? Why wasn't he fired for that?
It's a very good question. We really got to look into that. Can I hear the audio of that?
It's hypocrisy is what it is.
Betty Ford's cunt should be filled with yams and the war is lost. And they concentrate on that stupid war.
The war is lost.
And MSNBC is basically telling their viewers, you're not going to see anything, special here. You're not going to see real opinions or people getting edgy or speaking their minds here.
Well,
they're basically telling everyone, don't worry, we're going to play it extremely safe on our network.
Well, their idea of edgy, I think, is a little different than one of their guys saying, that Sarah Palin should be shit on and pissed on.
Well, Bashir, he should have been fired because he just did a shitty show. I did try. It's monotone and extremely just boring to watch. But
she raised the slavery option. The slavery. It was a dumb analogy, but it wasn't made to be racist. It was made because she's a dope.
Right. What was the actual quote by Martin Bashir?
The one that got him in trouble?
Yeah. He said, I'm paraphrasing, he said that she should have her mouth shit in. He said, and to prevent her from moving, you put one foot on her forehead and the other on her cunt.
Oh, wow.
It was really harsh. Yeah.
All right, in Anthony's way.
I was like, oh my God, Martin, why are you saying these things?
I better get the yams and Betty Ford's cunt.
In April 1750 and assumed the position.
So he's talking about slavery in reference to Sarah Palin, referencing slavery.
Right.
And he's trying to educate her on how bad slavery really was.
Position of overseer at a major plantation. What is most shocking about Thistlewood's diary is not simply the fact that he assumes the right to own and possess other human beings, but is the sheer cruelty and brutality of his regime. In 1756, he records that a slave named Darby catched eating canes, had him well flogged and pickled, then made Hector, another slave, shit in his mouth.
First of all, the fact that a grown man spells out shit on television.
Know, it's so fucking.
He's hoping the people that would be offended by that word can't spell.
They can't spell. Any fucking 4-year-old that's watching the news, that's watching MSNBC.
What shit? What fucking children? It's not an FCC violation.
No.
What fucking a country of children we are.
Go ahead.
Known as Darby's Dose, a punishment invented by
Darby's
Thistlewood
Dose.
that spoke only of
Give
the
you a
slave
Darby's
owners'
Dose.
savage
So this was
and
actually
inhumanity.
something they did on a regular
And he
basis
mentions
to
a similar
slaves.
incident again in
No, it's one
1756,
instance that was written
this
in a
time in
diary.
relation to
Who
a
knows
man
how
he refers to as
widespread it was.
Punch. Flogged Punch well, and then washed and rubbed salt, pickle, lime juice, and bird pepper. Made Negro Joe piss in his eyes and mouth. I could go on, but you get the point.
Go on.
When Mrs. Palin invokes slavery, she doesn't just prove her rank ignorance. She confirms that if anyone truly qualified for a dose of discipline from Thomas Thistlewood, then she would be the outstanding candidate.
Well, I don't have a problem with what he
See,
said.
he had everybody. He could have just said, with brutality like that, why do you make such a glib reference?
Right.
But he had to say she would be a candidate.
Whatever. I don't have a problem with it.
So apparently, also, you can't use slavery as an analogy for anything because they were shitting in people's mouths.
Well, that's what's annoying is that he knows that it was a dumb example she used. But
He's
it's
a
like saying
shitty
my boss
TV
is
host,
Hitler.
but, I don't have a problem with what he...
Yeah.
I don't think he should be fired for that.
He knows she didn't mean it literally. Like it's like
he should be fired if people stop watching because they're so deeply offended by what he
course,
said.
that's
'cause
how
then-
it should be.
Then nobody's watching.
Of course.
But
In
not
the
just
end, that's how it
because-
should be. But now I know, as someone that flips around, that I'm not going to see anything too interesting on MSNBC. They're going to play it extremely safe.
I mean,
they're having these discussions.
You talk about integrity. Like the whole reason that he got hired was because he made the exploitative Michael Jackson documentary.
Right.
That's why he's famous.
That's why there is no integrity in news. They're all lying to each other.
They got him and Reverend Al.
Not an ounce of
They have
integrity.
Reverend Al, Martin Bashir, and Alec Baldwin. Explain the news integrity again to me, please.
That's the
because I don't
news
get
team.
it. That's
all fake.
They're all in. They were in solid, positions over there too. It's all bullshit.
It's all fake integrity, but in their fucking little world, that's what they have to uphold.
But then why would they go and hire those people to begin with?
Oh, because they have their own fucking rationalization as to why they have people like Reverend Al. Reverend Al isn't the race-baiting fuckwad fat bastard he was years ago. He's the community leader that he fucking sits with the president. The president listens to what Reverend Al has to say these days.
Kind of think that's crazy.
Of course it is.
That's a little
But
crazy.
that's why they have him on there.
Right.
I mean, CNN hired Piers Morgan, honestly, because he was on Celebrity Apprentice and America's Got Talent.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no integrity across the board.
Piers is a better interviewer.
Stop
Piers
already.
turned out to be a decent interviewer. Like I like the fact that
He's a very good interviewer.
Yeah, he does a good
He
job.
might rub you the wrong way, but he's asking a lot of tough questions. He's got balls, more balls than most of those people.
Yes.
Definitely.
I don't know. I just don't like seeing any of these guys get fucking fired. It's ridiculous.
No, I don't like seeing anybody get fired, but I see why they fired him.
Yeah.
Like if Ian Halpern were successful at his things, he would be Martin Bashir. He could get a job at MSNBC and,
Which would be great.
Now, I got a fair question, Ant. Like you're a Fox guy, obviously. If this happened,
Foxy guy.
If this happened on Fox, would you think the same way?
Well,
if one of your guys over there said that,
it would all depend on what they
obviously
said.
they're
You
not
mean
going to say
said the
anything like
same
that.
thing,
To,
like
something similar, because obviously they're not going to attack Sarah Palin that way ever over at Fox.
Well, here's what happens when somebody on the right gets jammed up for something they say. They're fired fucking immediately. It doesn't have to go through the 2 weeks of rigmarole like it did with this guy.
Because they're
and
sensitive over there. So that went
and
down.
they get fired for things like just plain discussing race,
right?
And maybe saying something that's factual but offensive to certain people.
Well, none of them should get fired.
Well, I don't think.
No matter what side you're on.
I don't think that. I don't think you should get fired for having a discussion about race or anything really. He got fired. The NBC says he resigned, but we all know what happened. Yeah. And the reasoning was he said something that insinuated that she should have her mouth shit in and her eyes pissed in.
Yeah.
And that is over the line for a news organization.
Well, he was picking extreme examples of slavery, though, because she brought the slavery thing.
But he picked extreme examples and then said that she should have to also go through that. That, as far as a news organization goes, is crossing their line of, again, whether it's fake or not, their journalistic integrity.
Well, the difference between him and Alec Baldwin is that what he said was as an anchor, and he said it as a whatever you want to call him, on camera on their network.
Right.
He did something at work. Alec Baldwin did something in his personal time in a reaction to a personal invasion.
Well, that bled over years ago. Your personal shit now matters.
Yeah.
There was a time that didn't matter at all. They didn't give a fuck what you did as long as it wasn't illegal activity.
That's probably just an excuse for Baldwin, though.
I think you're right.
So.
I think so, too.
Well,
I mean, from
they don't
every
look good
report,
at
he was an
firing two
asshole.
guys within a week and a half.
And they're trying to change their image because they know that they're kind of a
And they knew they were
laughingstock.
firing Alec Baldwin, so they told, this is exactly how it went down. They told Martin Bashir, you're going to take a couple weeks vacation. It's Thanksgiving anyway. Go away. Don't worry about this shit.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Because we've been through that. And then he
Took him
comes
out to a
back.
steak dinner at the
and
Friars Club.
And then they sit him down, and then they go, hey, this is going down, but you could be the one that says you're resigning, or we will be firing you. So it's up to you. They always give you that fucking option in a lot of cases if they actually like you, and that's what happened.
I'll tell you, as far as like Red Eye goes, when I've handed in my notes before the show on what we're talking about, I've been told by the producer, like, oh, you can't say that. Like, don't refer to them, to the prostitutes, story about prostitutes, as whores. If you're going to be talking about this story about Canada, I saw you said something, that was derogatory about Canadians, and so we want to steer clear of that. Like,
stop referring to 1840 as the good old days. Stop referring to Hitler as misunderstood in air quotes.
There's plenty of instances where, yes, even a show like Red Eye has to adhere to Fox News.
That's true. Don't you think there are a lot of
standards?
Don't you think there are a lot of moments that if you pulled them out of context and said, "Look what's on Fox News," and not mention that it's on late at night, and not mention that it's supposed to be a funny show, that you could twist it? And
You could, but he wasn't. The difference is, and I don't want to see the guy fired, but I get why because he was not taken out of context. He was quoted perfectly in the context of what he was saying.
Yeah.
And in fairness, if somebody on Fox came out and gave the example about Michelle Obama, and in any way, or Hillary, hinted that they should have their mouths shit in,
gone,
they would be fired.
Gone from the business.
True. But his backstory leading up to that, he did a lot of research and he came up with a bunch of examples. So I think he really felt like he had his ass, covered on that one.
Boy,
he did so much work to try. It was
exhausting. It took a long time to get to what he really wanted to say.
He was like, "Look, I really want to go on the air and say that Sarah Palin's mouth should be shit in. How can I get this out?" He was probably working on it for months.
Exactly. Look,
and people calling in saying he sat down and wrote this out in advance. We know that. But I don't care if it's if you're writing it in advance or at the top of your head.
Which also means that it went through approval processes.
Maybe.
And I think it sucks you guys get notes back at Fox too. That's a nightmare as well.
You know why? Because it's it's the news. It's
the culture we live. It's
under the guise of news.
Yeah.
And they are held to a different standard. Again, phony or not, that's what the world we live in as far as the news goes. SNL could get away with doing shit that the news can't. We get away with doing shit that Rush Limbaugh can't get away with.
They get away with saying stuff that we couldn't say on regular radio.
Right. There's
for now until they change the rules here, and we don't know when that comes. We'll know when we get in major trouble and probably fired that the rules have changed, because that's how that works.
There's not a universal acceptance of what can be said and not said. It's very contextual when you put it under the flag of news. There's going to be an issue. I want to make this clear. I personally don't think he should have been fired. Yes, please. And my eyes pissed on. I don't think he should have been fired. Don't think he should have been fired. I don't like seeing him fired. I don't like seeing any broadcaster fired for anything. But I'm saying I understand why MSNBC fired him.
I understand their logic. I think I don't like their logic whatsoever.
They need to say we're a news organization first and foremost, and we can't have some guy implying that she should have her mouth
fucking up their own content.
Yeah.
They're fucking up their own content. Why would, after a while, people aren't going to, I mean, they're not even tuning into MSNBC to begin with, and this certainly isn't going to make more people tune in.
Well, if they really want to go all out and do a TMZ type show, then let them do that. I think they still want NBC held to this standard of news integrity.
This probably came from higher up. This probably came from NBC News.
I'm sure it came from NBC News.
MSNBC probably didn't fire him.
Right.
NBC News.
You know,
bingo.
Some heads are going to roll way upstairs when they start realizing that they're not bringing in the viewership. So, you know, they got to figure it out in the end. This rumor CNN is going to drastically change their entire network.
Oh, do I love it. I hope fucking Nancy Grace is drummed out.
I was reading that yesterday.
Headline news, they're probably going to blow up, and then supposedly parts of CNN they're going to reinvent as well and make it a little more entertaining.
A little younger, too.
With that political angle.
Yeah, this guy on Twitter says, and Sax God, I disagree with him a lot, but he's a good listener. He says, please ask Ant for an example of Fox firing someone for what they said no one has been fired. But honestly, I don't think anyone has said anything that inflammatory, and I don't think that anyone on MSNBC has been fired for just an extreme political opinion.
I got to be honest, the left jumps on anyone on Fox that even has a political opinion. They cry racism at the drop of a hat. If you criticize Obama, you're a racist. You hate him not because of his policies, but because he's black. All that. You're not supposed to fire people for that. Those are opinions. If you get somebody that says something horrific and disgusting about, like Jimmy said, Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton, then there's going to be an issue, and they will shove people out the fucking door. MSNBC has always been a hotbed for fucking degenerates, it seems like, with some of these motherfuckers with what they say.
Who from Fox has been fired? I can't even think of an example.
I don't think anybody.
As I sit here.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
But who from any of them? Who from CNN's been fired?
But what if they...
CNN has fired a bunch.
For that though?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for like language stuff.
What if somebody said that
there was one
they should be fired for?
There's one guy I used to watch when I was at the gym, and he got fired. Oh, fuck. What was his name?
The old guy who's always naked?
I think he was a little ethnic, like slightly
Juan
ethnic.
Williams?
Juan Williams was NPR.
Yeah.
Juan Williams was NPR.
No, there was a guy in...
Right?
Yeah, that old gag.
there was a guy on CNN.
Wait, Juan Williams was NPR, right?
Juan Williams was on
And he said it on TV, yes.
Yeah.
He told the truth about racial profile. Like he looks at people a little differently.
He's on Fox, though. I see him on Fox.
He got hired after they fired him. After that cunt from NPR fired him.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is going to be a place for, guys to speak their mind. That's what, they're going to push viewers toward something new eventually.
And it's biting all of them. Like, all of them, this is the funny part about...
They're all scared shitless as they sit there with a camera. They're live with a camera in their face. They're scared shitless to say anything.
But the liberals and the conservatives, both of them are doing it. Like, they both stand on the sidelines and cheer the firing of someone else, knowing that they're all in the same pit. Like, they're being attacked by dogs, and they're all just fucking pointing at the next guy with blood on him instead of turning around and standing together.
It's the only time you should stand together, because your livelihood is at risk as well.
Uh-huh.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, look at all the guys in trouble at ESPN and all these sports stations.
Guy networks
are like beating the shit out of guys left and right and firing people over just nonsense stuff too. It's not even that crazy.
No.
What are they doing? They're going to fuck up their content eventually.
And nobody even cares about it anymore. Like, the news cycle's over. Nobody even really remembered that Martin Bashir
I forgot about
had said that.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's another thing. It just...
They were hoping it would die down, and then they could go, look, all right, if you resign, it makes it a lot easier, and it's a much less of a story.
That's probably why it came from NBC. It was probably just moving up the ladder, up the ladder,
NBC
up the ladder.
News was just... They've had enough problems with between Alec Baldwin, between their Olbermann shit with MSNBC. Just this is the nightmare of that. The fucking guy, the tape he altered for the Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah.
They've had so many issues at NBC News. Whoever's on top is probably like, enough of this fucking shit. Clean house.
Oh.
And Jeff Zucker.
Victoria's Secret show.
What's that?
Victoria's Secret show.
Oh, how naughty that must be.
These fucking
were we invited?
models.
We weren't invited, were we?
I don't think so.
Oh, thank you. Rick Sanchez, thank you. Yeah, he was fired from CNN.
Oh,
CNN,
right. What did he say?
News.
He performed his namesake on some...
Thank you,
What did he say?
Brian Johnson 32 on Twitter. Rick Sanchez. Yeah, it's coming in a lot.
You're right.
I don't even remember what he did.
Was it an
anymore.
on-air thing or no?
But there was another guy besides Rick Sanchez, by the way. There's another guy.
Here's a guy.
I wish I could. There was another guy besides Rick Sanchez. Why was he fired from CNN again?
Rick Sanchez was fired, I think, for making a cotton picker remark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the actual line?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we have it.
They just fuck a person's career just like that. Thank God I have FU money. It gives a fuck.
I think I have a clip of it.
You do? Go ahead, Eric.
Going to change. There's a certain amount of the American public that's going to believe. Go ahead.
I'm just sitting here, just shaking my head. He is the cotton-picking president of the United States. If the president of the United States doesn't have enough of a belief...
That, to me, was not at all meant to be. I don't know,
He
man.
He might have thought it was clever and funny to say it that way.
Right. How many years ago was that?
I don't know, man.
That was last
The
year. Or
cotton-picking
2011.
That is a term you use when you just say, get that cotton picking chair out of this room. Hey, you get that, my cotton picking car ain't working. It doesn't. But then because you're saying it about a black guy, like if you said that about George W. Bush and said, George W. Bush, he's the cotton picking president. What do we think?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think literal. You think it's a term. Now with Obama, look out, because he's black, that all of a sudden, the sensitivity thing comes
Did I
in.
ever tell you when I was young, me and Dean, my buddy Dean Miller, who I loved so much.
I love Dean Miller.
I loved
And I
Dean.
never met the guy.
No, he's dead.
I know, but I just love the stories.
He would make me laugh so hard because he was psychotic, and we would go out, and we were like 15, and we had shoveled snow, so we went to New Brunswick to some pizzeria in like George Street, really fucking ghetto.
Oh,
and it's all black people.
Have a Kango hat on?
No, this was right before that phase. I was still young, eager. I loved Dean, Jimmy. And Dean is pointing at me because I was putting salt on, and Dean just kept going, "Get your cotton-picking hands off the salt. Put down that cotton-picking salt."
Oh, no.
And it was literally that loud. And he was just, I'm like, what, do you think that no one knows what you're doing?
Oh, no.
He was a crazy motherfucker, man. It was crazy.
With some people looking?
I don't remember. It's not a great story. It's the only cotton-picking story I have in my whole life. At least I have one.
You do have one.
What are the odds of having a cotton-picking story that ties in with this? Slim.
Lou Dobbs was pushed out of CNN as well. Thank you for that.
Someone else from Fox, they said, because it was Heath Ledger commentary?
Brian Gibson.
I don't know what that was.
Was fired from Fox for his Heath Ledger commentary.
Heath Ledger.
Brian
Gibson.
And then there is another guy I'm thinking of, and I believe it was CNN, and I can't think of his name.
Glenn Beck was fired, but that was some weird fucking
Why
thing.
was he fired? That's right.
It wasn't something he said
He was
or
big
anything.
on Fox, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was some contractual
I heard
thing.
that he cried through a live read, and they knew that he was just fucking nuts, and they had to get rid of him.
Oh, boy. Oh, gee.
No, that's what I heard.
Oh, my goodness.
With the chalkboard and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was for chalk or something. A live read for chalk.
No.
Yeah. They tried to eat the chalk, I think. But.
Oh, no.
You got the Brian Gibson.
No, it's just Brian Gibson?
I believe so.
Oh.
From Fox?
No, from Timbuktu.
Rick Sanchez did an all right job for CNN, too, and they just fucking destroy his career over one dumb thing, and they don't even think about all the other body of work the guy had, where he was well within the lines.
He said something douchey about me one time, or some tweet I had sent out. I don't remember what it was.
But one thing and your whole career is destroyed? That doesn't seem right. It really doesn't.
John Gibson.
What did I say, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, John. What do you say about the Heath? Man, he played a great Joker.
Oh, my God.
It was just amazing.
Oh.
Fucking amazing.
I do a good impression of that Joker, by the way. Not that you want to hear it, but I do a really good Joker.
Can I hear it?
You want to know how I got these scars?
That's dead on.
That is pretty good, man.
Wow.
It was on his
picking performance ever.
It was on his radio show.
Oh, was it?
Fuck.
Yeah, and he called.
Of course, they get rid of radio guys way before TV guys, so fuck that one. You don't even have to read it.
Well, what did he do? I don't know what he did, because I might have found him on TV for it.
He said he called Heath Ledger. He called Heath Ledger a weirdo with a serious drug problem, and when he made fun of "I wish I knew how to quit you" line from Brokeback Mountain, and said, "Well, he found out how to quit you."
Boy.
Just trying to be funny.
See what's going on there.
I was just someone just trying to be funny.
And whoops.
Sorry if you're trying to be funny.
He was the guy who was worried he was going to get fired when Patrice was on his show.
That's
All right.
true. Yeah.
All right, well, you know what? Going into break, we should, even though it's a visual, but it does work as a radio bit as well. Chip Baca, the Coke Logic animation is amazing. Go to Coke Logic's Twitter, Coke Logic on Twitter, and I'm sure there'll be a link for it so you can find it for yourself. But the animation is terrific.
There's so many cool little things to look for in the background.
Yeah.
They got Jimmy in the background doing the dance.
Where's that?
Well, that's
on the wall.
That's Ted Scheckler.
Yeah, Ted Scheckler.
Oh, wow. I noticed.
What else is on the wall?
He's going,
There's a photo in the bottom right of Opie and Voss golfing together.
I didn't catch any of this stuff.
And you got Tippy Tom on the wall.
Tippy Tom.
Larry King, now you can tell it's the top of his head.
Right.
That's the Demented World gold record.
What's above my head in the left corner? What is that?
That's me with Mick Foley and a giant picture of Vince McMahon behind.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm a little far away from the monitor.
Bunch of wow stickers.
And don't. Oh. We're talking. And the chickens from that animation.
But the animation from Coke Logic, fucking great. I don't like that he's aging our animation characters, by the way. Go fuck yourself. The Flintstones looked the same for 25 years.
Look at the little South Park kids.
Yeah, let us stay young as in animations at least. I see what he's doing. There's some program where you fucking start adding a wrinkle or two and some smeary shit on the faces to make them look older.
How come this Jabba the Hutt, not Jabba the Condo or something?
We're going to play the bit. We don't have to do the bit if we're going to play the bit.
But no, it's good to lead into it.
Sound like you need that.
With some humor.
Hock up some phlegm or something.
Family Guy, fucking The Simpsons. They haven't aged on The Simpsons, and they've been on for what, 48 years?
Yeah,
is it?
I believe it's 52.
26 years. They didn't age at all. But this Coke Logic feels like he has to age our animation characters.
He's right though.
Yep.
I mean, you do. You know,
mine has not aged in this one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because I'm wearing a Max.
But check out the animation, Coke Logic on Twitter. But it also works for the radio. We'll go to break with this. We got a little bit. Did we do everything for today?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, no. What is that? Chip Baca.
Yeah. Millennium Falcon. Aren't they called like the Millennium Eagle? Yeah. Han Solo. How come he doesn't have friends? Or something. What the fuck? Fucking Yoda. He's fucking green with envy.
Green with something.
Whatever.
That's horrible.
Jedi. Should be a jet nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't really like Chip Baca.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Greedo, how come he doesn't be happy with what he's got?
Continues in moments. Alright, well that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.